from my Carolina home. Had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. We were digging and shifting 5 to 5, selling everything we found just to stay alive. Gold flowed free like the whiskey in the bar. Sinning was the big thing, Lord, and Satan was a star. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And blood lined the streets. Men were shot down for the sake of having fun, or just to hear the noise of their 44 guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame, all for the useless and no good, worthless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there.
Hey, YouTubers and friends, welcome to another Tuesday Night Hangout Live with ToledoJess, Dano, and I. Tonight we're having Brian of BHiggles. You could find him on Facebook, YouTube, of course, and TikTok. All the links are down in the description below. I would say if you're not yet subscribed to the guy, go over, give him some Flash Fam love, and if you like what he has to offer, definitely become a subscriber. But for now, it's time to get this party started, so don't go away. You know what's next. Hey, YouTubers and friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live with ToledoJess, Dano, and I.
Right on, new member of the Flash Fam.
And we had a renewal of a membership today by Mad Hatter Prospecting. Thank you, my friend. Huh?
Isn't that Tom?
No, Justin Pritt.
Ah, okay.
Tom changed his pay dirt company's name. It used to be Tom's Pay Dirt.
Everybody
Sure
changes their
what
names
it
on
is.
here, man. They have one name for a while, and all of a sudden they come back in, or you'll see them again, but they're a totally different name.
Right. They'll do
I'm
that.
old. Quit confusing me, guys.
Stop confusing the old man here.
It's like Mark Thomas. Mark Thomas, he's a moderator throughout the Tubiverse, YouTubiverse, and I call him the man of million names because he changes it always. He'll probably come in as Flash Pan or something tonight. We have the world's greatest moderator in the house tonight. Thank you for being here, Mr. Lodak. Oh, I think I'll start from the bottom up tonight.
Tin Man. What's up? Oh, look, Earth Radio.
It's on time this week. I know he was having some stuff going on last week. It's okay, Ronald. We love you so much, we just have to give you a hard time, my
Brother Connor. Terry Curry, what's up?
everybody, a gentleman that's a local to me, and we don't work with the same company, but our companies work a lot together. Is in the house tonight. Goats Firewood and Farms. Welcome him, please.
Welcome.
Me Miner, our Canadian friend, along with Derek from One More Pans in the House. Welcome.
Brad Walt.
Guido.
No, it's Welch. Not Walt. Welch. I hate it when people do that to my name, where they go Mendez instead of Mendez.
Yeah. It's like, that ain't my name.
Great.
Jonathan Friend, good to see our friend from Black Mass Pay Dirt. Brad Welsh, good to
Lovely texting with Randy.
see ya. Hope you're having a good morning. Yeah, Randy was a guest on the show in the past. Good to see you. Puts out a lot of good TikToks. Ohio Relic Hunter, one of our main staple locals in the house. PA, Patriot Prospect. See you. Terry Curry, good to see you. And Tim, Tin Man Magnet Fishing. Good to see you back from your, would that be a hiatus? Hiatus?
We talked about this before. It ain't a hiatus, it's a hiatus.
Right.
We've had this discussion in the past.
That we have.
Gold
And
Wizard.
look at that.
Wow.
Nice. Thank you.
Oh,
bud.
yeah. Super chat.
Great.
Thanks for the super chat, Jason the Mason Flower Gold Wizard. We have a top-notch celebrity in the house tonight, along with me, Minor, who's also one of the bigger fishes in the YouTube pond. Graveyard Prospecting, how you doing? Thanks for calling in last week. David Alfron
Daddy.
Where's my knife? I know I'm gonna butcher another name.
Show me treasure. Welcome.
Welcome, one and all. Good
Hey,
to
everybody.
see all of you tonight.
Hello.
Jason, I hope sometime before I stop having flash bashes, you're able to come down. Come as a VIP guest.
Definitely.
You could spend your anniversary down here. It's a family thing.
Yep. That it
Family
is.
orientated. Show me treasure. Welcome. GoPro Unlimited. Good to see you, our friend. All these great peoples in the house. What the heck?
The heck?
$49.99.
That's a big one.
Flower Gold Wizard, bro. Thank you very much. Yeah, shoot, that deserves another one. Let me tell ya, because I'm. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Thankful.
Yeah, that's a big one too. The
There's
big one.
dogs sleeping next to him after eating a pile of beef jerky.
I hope Rigby and everybody's fine. So glad to have all you.
So Dano, did you get your roof done?
It's right in. I'm going to roof it through the week here and finish it up this weekend.
Right.
It's not gonna rain, so you're lucky.
Well, that's why I did what I did. If I
Yeah.
wouldn't, I'd have started Saturday morning and dried it in and roofed it Sunday, but I knew the weather was holding out. So like, you know what? Roofs kill me. I'll walk funky
Oh.
for 2 weeks after I do the damn thing. I'm gonna spread it out.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was a roofer for 1 year of my construction life, and 1 year I learned I didn't want to be a roofer.
Yeah.
I did roofing for a long time. It really messes you up, messes your knees up, messes your ankles up,
And I ain't
messes
getting
your back up, messes your head up.
You're a mess.
I'm a mess.
ruins
I
your
did it for quite a
clothes.
while.
It ruins your clothes.
You out there just getting sun baked?
Oh,
Man.
dude. Yeah, I started roofing when I was in high school. My summer job, one of my summer jobs, I learned to roof.
My first summer job was building grain bins and pole barns.
Wow.
That was my summer
My
job.
first experience with roofing was I worked for a company in Anaheim, and we did rooftop delivery, a roofing supply company. And
It's funny too because it's like prospecting for gold. You know how you go by a creek and you go, "Ooh, I wonder what that's like." You going down the road as a roofer, you're going, "Ooh, that roof needs to be repaired. Ooh, that one needs a roof job."
Yeah.
Always looking.
Who did that crappy work?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah. Oh man, that was all screwed up, man. Look at those lines. They're all wavy and stuff. Oh yeah. I've gone by houses and I'm going, that thing's got to be leaking.
oh yeah, I hear you. Now that I've roofed a million houses,
And they're in the house and they're waving at you saying, "Hey, my roof's leaking."
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's when you say, I bet you went with the smallest bid, huh? Ah, ha, ha.
Should have got
Susan
those 3Ds.
Hamilton.
Two guys in a pickup truck every time.
Right. Fly by night.
That's the same around here.
well,
I drive around. And I see places I've worked. I remember places I've worked. What I did there when I did it.
I'm the
Oh, yeah.
exact same way.
I do the same thing. I go by a grocery store up in Michigan, right across the border. That I did a torch down on 30 years ago, and I still got that rope on
Modified.
there. That rope is still on there.
I've
Man,
done
all
a
this
lot
talk
of
about work's making my
modified.
back hurt.
I tell you, I've been doing concrete for the past month too.
Oh, ouch. That's not fun either.
But I have a feeling I'm going to be putting on a metal roof here on a factory right when the cold and ice and that's
Well, it sounds like we all appreciate the finish work. That's for sure.
right.
Yeah,
I'd
and,
much
you know,
rather be inside doing trim and doors and stuff at
I'm
that
now a
time.
maintenance man. That's what I do.
That'd be a
Graveyard.
nice gig too.
Graveyard says usually the wife makes him go out and patch the roof when it's storming.
It's leaking. That's where the
That's
wet
me.
and dry
Me
comes
minor.
in.
Me minor says I fell off the second story while roofing when the jack let go. Ooh. While lying on the ground, my dog came over and laid on me, soaking wet from a swim.
Oh, man.
Hey, I fell off a ranch style house. My very first roof that I ever, when I first, my first summer job, my first roof job, and I got up there and I just stepped backwards, one too many steps, and went right off
Fishing.
land. Yeah, I landed on some bushes, but still, it was only one story, but still.
There's nothing like an aroma of wet dog, though, that
Oh,
just really,
no doubt.
just really sets it in, just lets you know you're not in a good spot.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I learned to be really careful at that point. That was, first lesson. Watch where you're walking.
I had a guy back off a roof on me doing tar paper. I was nailing it down. He was rolling it out. All of a sudden he quit talking. I looked up. He's gone. Fell off a
Yeah,
ramp.
well, we were up there. We weren't tarring yet. We had just gotten up there, and he was looking at the roof, trying to see looking for weak spots, right? And I'm standing there, and I stepped backwards. Right, I was by the edge. I stepped backwards, went right off.
Just gone.
Yeah, I was gone.
Yeah, never good when there's two guys on the job and then there's only one. That's a bad
Right.
sign.
So yeah, I definitely learned a lesson that time, which is cool. At least it was on a one story, and I fell into a bush. Could have been worse.
Yeah, that'd be nice, but I gotta move pretty quick on that roof. Nah, we don't do it if it's only James, my brother. Hope you have magnets on the bottom of your boots, bro. It's only like a half-inch pitch, half
Wow,
12. So we don't go up if it's icy. If we slide at all, nope.
Some
Ohio
better be wet.
Relic Hunter. Relic Hunter
Sometimes.
says he got his garage roof done for $250 plus materials. All right.
But it looked great. They did a great
Wow.
job
It
or
looked great.
something.
Check this out. I have on my roof. It's 21 square, and it's like, oh, I don't know. It's pitched pretty good. But I taught my son and my son-in-law how to roof and saved myself 10 grand doing it myself, and that was a complete tear off. And so yeah,
I'm
not
saving
only,
a lot doing my own.
not only did I get my roof done, it's still good, it's still not leaking.
Well, you know,
I taught
technically,
two people how to always be able to make money. You can
there
always
you
make money
go.
from it.
It's like
Yep.
giving them a fish or teaching them to fish.
Right.
Yep.
But if once you roof, you know how they say 3 layers is legal. and then you have to
No.
tear off.
No.
If you go over existing roofing, avoid your warranty on your
Yep,
new
avoid your warranty on the
shingles.
new roof.
Yep.
So it's always best to do a tear off.
Yeah, I had like 4 layers on my roof.
Wow.
Not including patches.
Using 3-inch nails to nail shingles down. Bing, bing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good
like I said, hey,
evening, Bacchus. Drum Detect.
Yep, yep.
Good to
I
see you,
saved me 10
James.
grand doing it that way, though.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like I said, I taught 2 guys how to always be able to make money.
Yeah, that's a lot of coin.
Yeah. Well, I roof, I roof commercial, residential, hot tar, torches, torch downs,
Back in
everything.
Washington, I did a lot of modified.
Yeah.
When it comes to roofing, I probably would say I like Duralast the best or TPO because you have a hot air welder in your hands to keep you warm if it's cold.
Right.
and there's always some kind of foam like ISO insulation or something underneath, so yeah, it ain't so hard on your knee. But geez, at this age, Dano, Jesse, Brian, everybody, the less I do, the better.
I had my back porch done here recently. I had it done.
Oh,
I paid to have it done. I spent the money.
No,
my knees,
no.
my knees. No, no, I'm done. I'm retired.
we have Ohio River history in the room, not to be confused, but often is with Ohio Relic Hunter. Good to see you, Shane.
Terry Curry says, never go any higher than you're afraid to fall. That's good
Right,
advice.
right. Hey, the falling ain't the bad part, it's the landing.
Right,
I
it's that sudden
heard.
stop.
It's that sudden stop of hitting.
Actually, there was one time I was sheeting a 2-story house in Washington, and I was went from dormer to dormer. I cut everything on the roof, right? And I hit some sawdust in between the dormers and went right down, slid down, kicked off the toe board, went off the front of the house and landed on my feet on a pile of mason sand and caught the toe board.
Wow.
I'm so lucky it was that
That's
way because the
incredible.
drop was only like 10 feet max, right? 8 feet. If I went off the backside, it would have been 2 stories.
Wow.
But you still sharded a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I might have had a little stain in my britches. Especially when you kick off the toe board. JP! Now, a little backstory on our guest tonight. We had the privilege of meeting this guy at this year's Flash Bash 2020. Or 2022, sorry,
Yes,
my
sir.
bad. He came up with another friend of ours who's now been at 2 Flash Bashes, Ohio River History Game. And I have to say, Brian, it was a pleasure meeting you then, as it is having you join us tonight. And
thank you so much. I'm honored.
from the killer finds I see you posting all the time in the Flash Fam Facebook group, and what I heard about Flash Bash and stuff, you're killing it. Look at that treasure room behind you.
Man, no kidding.
Thank you so much. I'm having a lot of fun, that's for sure. And I want to thank you for Flash Bash. I had a great time. That was my first ever metal detecting event, and we came and had an incredible time. Met some great people, great channels, fun, family, food. It was amazing. So thank you, Ed, for that.
I wouldn't
You really
exactly
can't.
call it a metal detecting or
Right.
prospecting event. I have come to call it like a gathering. A
Yeah.
Right.
gathering of YouTubers and subscribers.
Treasure hunters.
Or treasure hunters, exactly.
Yeah.
Encompasses many fingers of that treasure hand, you know.
Well, yeah, and here's the cool thing about it too. You get to learn something new if you want. You get to teach somebody something new if you want, or you
Yeah,
can just go do your own thing if you want, or
right.
do
Yeah.
nothing if you want. You know.
Well, day one when I was there, I panned my very first flake of gold. So,
Woo!
yep, yep. We weren't even there a couple of hours, and I sat down with a gentleman, and he showed me how to pan, and I popped my first flake. So I was
All right.
excited about that.
And
Did
there's
you get
some
it out of
pretty
the creek or
good
something?
gold down in your part of Indiana, dude.
Good. I'll get on some prospecting. Hope I can find some of that gold.
Yeah, there's southern Indiana area. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's gold down there. There's a lot of
Well,
areas.
they say it's pretty much in any stream or river. So yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
Someday.
like up around here, we're looking at glacial gold is what we're finding.
Yeah,
Awesome.
all our
Canadian
gold
gold.
is Canadian gold. And sorry, our friends in the Great White North,
Can't get
Ontario
that.
and stuff, you can't have it back.
I did finally get me a pan kit, so I've got a pan and all that, and I've got a package of soil from Alaska that
Nice.
Thomas 907 was kind enough to send
Oh,
me, and
cool.
so
Yeah.
I'll be able to do my own first little batch of
Just some
dirt here
practice,
soon.
some
Yeah.
Practice,
and
practice,
then get to
practice.
practice some more.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all
JP,
about.
No
JP
me
says, "Hey,
miner, no me miner. See what me miner says?
Hey JP, I'm in. You want to do
no,
some
no,
prospecting? Definitely.
Yeah,
no,
and
me, my,
Canada
you
wants its
lost it."
gold back. Sorry. A comment that our friend uh, me miner said. Yeah, Canada wants it back. No, it came here illegally. It's being detained. We
It's
don't.
been detained.
Yeah, we don't send that kind of illegal alien back home.
Me minor says you ain't getting it back unless you win it, or you got to come down here and dig it yourself.
That's right.
That's right. I'm sure a lot of the gold that Flower Gold Wizard gets off of Lake Superior originated in Canada as well.
Awesome.
Brad Welch says, "Ed, I finally got the gold monster unboxed last night and had a play with it. Goes off real nicely. Now I gotta head to the bush for a weekend now before it gets too hot and the ticks come out."
Hmm.
There you
They're coming.
go. Our Aussies friends spring down there.
That monster is gonna find you some tiny little gold too. Let me tell you, it will find the little stuff. We all hate ticks.
Yeah, we do.
Ticks suck.
Ticks suck. Ticks,
It's finally
mosquito.
cooling off here. The bugs are going away. Thank God.
Ooh, look at that. Uh, Great God. It's okay. I got a half-ounce nugget this summer in Atlin.
Wow,
Nice. I know he has claims up there.
that's a
Cool.
picker.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's a picker. A half ounce picker.
We all hate ticks, graveyard. Yeah, that'd be a nice picker, but it was nice what we got on our trip with the famous guru, uh, sensei of prospecting on the West Coast, Two Toes, and his friend and our friend Smith's Gold. That day,
Yeah.
remember that day for a long, long time.
Oh, that's a day that's etched in my mind.
Oh yeah, two toes in the grave diggers. Or I mean gold diggers.
Heck yeah.
The poker. Jeff says that's a poker. Half ounce, that's a poker. Not even a picker.
Oh, aren't you nice?
Yeah, I don't know all the terminology yet, so I'm still learning.
Well,
Okay.
there's like
Picker,
nap
poker.
poo is very, very small, like flour gold. Then there's fly poop, which is a little better. Then there's salt and pepper specks, and then there's flakes. Then there's a poker, which you can poke at it and pick it up, and a picker you can pick up, and a nugget. Well, a nugget, some say a half gram or bigger, and depends where you're at geologically, I would say.
And is the big one just
Or
called retirement or?
Yeah.
yeah. We're all still looking for that one.
Right.
Well, I'm already retired, but mine would be softball size. About the size of a softball. I'd be
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it looks
Ruby's
perfect,
still
but
waiting
maybe
for
like-
that, Jesse.
Oh no, she wants a mayonnaise jar full.
Oh, a mayonnaise jar. That's right.
She don't
Why does
care
it have to
about
be a mayonnaise jar? Why can't it be a peanut butter jar?
mayonnaise, dude.
What about a pickle jar?
Hey,
Or...
you got to draw a line somewhere, right?
Somewhere.
Mayonnaise jar.
Would that
I
be
don't
Miracle
know
Whip or
about
straight
that.
No
Gee.
Miracle Whip. Not me. Yeah, a Costco mail jar.
Oh, geez, that thing's a
Whoa.
5-gallon bucket.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Actually, she likes silver.
Well, who don't?
Well, thank goodness, right?
And that's gone back up again. I see today. I looked. I don't look every day, but I looked earlier today. I think silver's back up over 25. But,
That's good.
Nice.
well, no, it's at 2107. Gold's at 1729. It took a dip there for a few days. Everything's moved up. Platinum, palladium. It's cool. I don't know what the stock market's doing. I don't care.
Ain't got nothing in it.
Yeah, right. Well, my retirement does, but anyways, we won't go there.
Anyway.
So,
Yeah.
how about telling us about you a little bit, like how you got started in metal detecting? Is that something you've done since you were a kid, or is
Sure.
is it something you just tripped over and thought, oh, this is cool, I like doing it?
Well, no, I mean, it all started the winter of 2021, stuck at home, getting on the streaming services, YouTube, Hulu, found metal detecting on the YouTube, ran into a channel, Digging SoCal, Bill and Christine. There are a couple out in California. They do a lot of metal
Probably
detecting.
Southern California.
Yep, Digging SoCal. They inspired me to buy a metal detector. I bought an Equinox 800. It's my first ever metal detector, and I started that winter, and I can't stop. I'm so addicted to it. It's unbelievable. I'm having a lot of fun. I really am, and so I've been at it 19 months now, and that's when I started my YouTube channel. Was 19 months ago. Made my first video. Took my knocks out in the front yard. It said to start in your own yard, so I started in the yard. Went out 3 foot out my front door. Found a silver ring.
Nice.
Next day, I went out in my backyard and found an old mid 1800s button. So I was hooked ever since. Right there.
So what was it about their video that inspired you?
Just going out, having fun, being themselves, just having a good time. It looked really, really easy. I thought, man, I can do that. That looks like a lot of fun. I was a fisherman. That's why my logo has metal detecting and kayak fishing. I spent, all my youth and adulthood fishing. That was my zen, to get away and get out in the kayak and do some bass fishing. I loved it for years and years and years, but it basically never paid. And when I found metal detecting, I mean, I come home with treasure every day, and my stuff just keeps growing and growing and growing. So
That's a heck of a treasure wall that you got there.
man, I just love it. I'm so addicted to it. And I'm spending a lot of time doing it. I'm grateful enough to be in a position in my life where I don't have to work a ton. I'm partially semi-retired, so I'm able to dedicate a lot of time to this hobby and the passion. And so I get out almost every day, if not every other day at least. And I've been really lucky in the area that I'm in. It seems that nobody detects here whatsoever. So, when I first started getting out there, I went to my local police department and I told them who I was and what I was going to be doing and the kinds of public places that I would be digging, so that nobody got surprised and wondered who that weird guy in the park was wandering around digging holes. And they've all been really, really supportive. And I've managed to get a few incredible permissions throughout my journeys, and
Cool.
that's just led to more and more excitement and more subscribers and great videos. And I had the 1925 school location, which provided me with 43 silvers and 30 bucket list. And so I've just been right out of the gun, just having a lot of luck and a lot of fun.
Nice,
It
nice.
sounds like it.
You've grown really fast too. Excellent.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. When I started, I'm a web designer. That's what I do for a living. I build websites, graphic design, that sort of thing. So
Cool.
that's what allows me to work at my own schedule. I can go out all day, have fun, then come home and do some web work and still satisfy my clients' needs. And so I took all of that knowledge that I have about web design. The whole thing about web design, when you build a website, is about it being found on Google so that you can get some traffic. And that's what SEO is, search engine optimization. So I took 30 years of search engine optimization from website design, and I drilled it all into my YouTube channel, and it's made an incredible impact. It really has.
Excellent. Happy for you.
Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm having a lot of fun. The community's incredible. Everybody is so supportive and encouraging, and everybody helps each other out. And met you fine folks at the Flash Bash, and it's been a really, really great experience. It's really, really inspired me to keep going.
Cool. You said that since you've been metal detecting, you realize that hardly anyone has hit any of the areas around where you're at. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. Everywhere I go is totally loaded, as if it's basically untouched. I mean, everywhere I go, it's just endless targets. I've met one guy. I went way up north to a tot lot one time, and I in a park, and I saw a guy metal detecting. I was like, "Hey!" So I hollered at him, and he hollered at me, and we hit it off. And the first day that we met, he took me to an 1885 one-room school, and we toyed around that little area for a bit and had a good afternoon. And then a little bit later, he took me to an ancient mineral springs place that had 1775 carved into a rock in the cliff, and all these other names and dates, and just all this incredible history there. And the very first target that I found was a tiny little spike. It was about that big and was sharpened on the end. And so people in the chat and others seem to suggest that maybe it was a spike that helped carve some of those names in that wall. And if you haven't seen that video, it's over on my channel. It's the Ancient Mineral Springs. It's an incredible adventure, and to see 1775 carved in a rock right in front of you, you know instantly you're in the right spot. And I had an incredible day. I found that spike and an old token and some other great stuff. So it was really cool. Finally meeting one detectorist in the area. Shane, as you said, from Ohio River History. has been awesome. He's come over and we've detected and done several collaborations. And so I'm getting around, getting, my feet wet with new people and doing new collaborations and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it.
That's good. So are you specializing in any one thing, or are you going after coins? Are you going after just relics, or are you just everything and
No,
anything?
yeah, I'm really, really non-specific. I don't use advanced programs or any of that yet. I basically turn my Knox on, put it in Park 1 or Field 2, and if that thing beeps, I dig a hole. And it's worked out really, really great for me. I don't, I try not to judge what may or may not be in there, because I found oftentimes that something that I thought sounded really trashy ended up turning out to be something really, really incredible. So I've just gone with the basic
Yeah,
sense of, if it beeps, I dig. So man, I just let that
it's
thing
yeah.
swing, and if it
Me, it's
makes a
the opposite.
noise, yeah, if it makes a
Yeah,
noise, I'm in the hole.
I think, oh, I got something good here. I got something good here. Pop up, and it's a
Yeah,
nail.
it's
It's a
Canslaw.
it's I can't slaw. It's roofing nails. In my yard, it's roofing nails. You know.
I found 2 silver rings in my own yard, so that's
Yeah,
been really, really fun. I mean, the one
I
was
found a
literally
I
3
found
foot
a
out my door, and the other was around the side by the fireplace. So to find
uh,
2 silver rings in your own yard, it's pretty amazing.
I find pennies.
Yeah,
I found a Kennedy
Had my
half.
mute on.
That was cool.
awesome.
But I
Found my
don't dig too
first
much
ring
in
in
my
my
front
own
yard.
too.
Yeah,
Just
the
every
old
once.
button, the old mid 1800s button I found. I mean, it's still not 100% identified. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's got like a cornucopia on it. It's like and it's gold gilded, and it has the shank.
Cool.
And I started researching it, and somebody confirmed that they truly believe that it was mid 1800s. And I was just blown away how something like that could be right in my backyard in a house that had been built in 1945. So that convinced me that history is basically everywhere. And just get out there and swing that coil, and when that thing makes a noise, get down in there and dig it on out. And that's what I do. And I go, I'll dig anything from schools to parks to, fields and relic fields, and just anywhere I can. I've just secured a recent new permission at a 1955 drive-in. The drive-in's still open to this day,
I
and
got one here.
yeah,
I've
it's
been
one
thinking about
family
that.
owned. The same family's owned it since 1955. And I just called, left a message on their voicemail and said, I'm BHiggles. I'd love to come out and metal detect. I think there'd be some great history out there. And he didn't get back with me for, quite a while. It was like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then out of the blue, I got the phone call and he said, hey, come on out. So I've got me that new great permission. I mean, it's like 20 acres, 6 screens. I've already gone out there and found a
Wow.
couple of rings. I walked around the concession stand and probably found like $40 in clad coins, basically
Nice.
just laying on the ground. So
Right. Well, that's funny because when I was I was gonna say 13, 14 years old, we would travel to Texas, and a cousin there, his job was to go clean up the drive-in the next day after the week on Monday. He
right.
would So I went with him one day, and he was supposed to pick up the bags, the all that stuff, but find wallets, find rings, money, it's just laying there.
Yep.
Yeah, what a good place to go meddling tech, because all
Uh,
that. Imagine all the history and the layers of coins that could be in there,
yeah.
or jewelry. Uh, you know, I
Well,
grew up.
I went to the back fence of the main screen. I figured, all the naughty people always park back by the fence,
Exactly.
where you can get back there and have fun and do a little
Right, right.
partying or whatever. And I nailed 2 rings right off the bat first day. So I was like,
Hey,
man, this is
no
going to be a
doubt.
great place. This is going to be a great place.
I had to go hit them up over to Sunset. Which gas?
I mean, just at my
Yeah.
local high school alone, there's this place that I've dubbed Quarter Hill because I've found over 300 quarters on that quarter now in just the last couple of weeks. We've been
Wow.
going out there, and it turns out it's got a lot of old history. Apparently, where we're at used to be where the track and field is for the high school now is where an old horse racing track used to be in the 1800s, and they had a fair there, the festival grounds and Ferris wheel and all these old tents and stuff. And we went out there, and man, I found 110 quarters the first day, like 56 in the morning, then 40 later in the afternoon, then more in the evening. Then
Wow.
Shane came out and we found more quarters. We pulled 300 quarters off this tiny little section in the back part where it's hilled overlooking the racetrack. And as soon as you think that it's just nothing but quarters, well, then out pops the gosh, I can't even see the date anymore. Getting blind, y'all. 1891 seated dime,
Nice.
my first seated. And so that was very, very
It's wanting
inspiring.
to focus on your face, Brian.
Okay.
Need to pin him up so they can see it.
Bitter.
Yeah, I can do that. Ooh.
I know
Anyway,
I'm
my
seeing it
first
good,
seated.
but it's up.
And I found a Merc out there and a war nickel, and Shane found a really, really cool old dragon that was a really cool relic. And I found a 1920s winged motometer radiator cap from a Sterling
Uh,
vehicle. And this place is just incredible with the history. Every time I go out there, if you can get by the quarters, you're bound to find some history. So the guy that took me to the ancient mineral springs, well, he called me. I said, well, come on down. We'll go up on Quarter Hill and see what we can find. And yesterday he pulled an 1892 barber quarter. So
wow.
yeah, it's going to be a rich area. And like I said, it's thankfully and gratefully, it's just like that everywhere I go. I mean, it's just completely loaded. It's like an endless supply of treasure that's never been hunted. And the school was so incredible to me. I've just been having so much fun. I'm just really grateful for the areas that I found, and the people have been really, really nice to me. And everybody I've called has been real nice and been open and let me have permission and do my thing. And I share my stories and adventures and finds with them. And me and the driving guy were having fun because here's a ring. It's a silver class ring. It was one of the first rings that I found out at the drive-in. And so we were all laughing about, how that was like Sandy and stranded at the drive-in and threw the ring at him and having fun laughing about stories like that. And so there's
So
just no,
no doubt you can imagine.
I mean,
I mean,
there's no telling, like you said, what's going to be there. He said they have a whole room of lost and found. It's like, he said we've got 1,000 pair of shoes, and it's just amazing what people leave behind. He finds cash laying around all the time, and
I
it's
thought about trying to get permission to like Mad River Mountain ski area.
yeah, definitely. Any permission I think is great. I'm loving the permissions. Before I was all about the public spots and curb strips, but anytime I get on a permission, just incredible, miraculous things happen. So I'm definitely into those now.
Right.
so
Like I
now
said,
that you've
people, go ahead.
now that you've gotten all into melee detecting and got a little taste of gold prospecting, uh, anything else you like to treasure hunt?
No, just basically metal detecting so far,
Oh,
I see a lot of
it'll come to you.
oh yeah, definitely.
no
I mean, I'm
bottle
interested in
digging
magnet
yet.
fishing, but I don't have a magnet, so I haven't been able to get out and do some magnet fishing yet. But I just got my new gold pan set up, like I said, and I've got that little bag
Right.
of dirt, so I'll
Right.
start playing with that and start learning. And if JP will take me out, we'll do some prospecting. It'll be fun. I'm all about it. anytime that you can get out, be in nature, and have a good time, not be stressed out, I think it's a win-win.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. Um, I mean, how about since you're metal detecting and finding all kinds of different types of treasure, and has it piqued your sense of history? And
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I never really even thought much about the history part of it anymore. But then since meeting Shane, he's all about the history, and he's
uh,
been teaching me, ways to use mapping and stuff, and find out where the old homesteads were, and what was going on way back. And so now I'm really getting turned on to the history. We're fixing to head to Digstock at the end of October, and we're going to be over there in some colonial area. So
yeah.
I'm super excited. I mean, we're right there at a major point on Chesapeake Bay, and I'm hoping it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm really excited about that trip. That's going to be my second event, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. A bunch of us from the Monday Digs crew is going to go out there, and we're all going to meet up and have some fun, and hopefully find some incredible treasure.
So when you started this journey of no return, did you have any idea how popular it was and how popular your channel was going to be? I mean,
Not
you
at
got,
all. I mean, I'm
I
grateful
mean,
for every subscriber and every second that anybody watches. That's for sure. And
right,
I've just been having fun, just being myself and doing my thing and finding the treasure. And everybody really seems to enjoy it. And I'll mix it up with some real nice Zen kind of music in the background, and just
right.
set a nice little ambiance for a great dig. And it's been going really well. Never did I expect I'd have, like, almost 4,000 viewers and 600,000 views, and 40,000 watch hours in
Right.
19 months. It just
Well,
it blows me
You've
away.
done well, buddy. You've done well.
somebody mentioned earlier, I don't remember who it was, that they loved they love your editing and the way you put your videos together.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
whoever
you.
said that. I used to spend a great deal of time putting the videos together, but now I've got my stuff kind of templated, and I'm able to reduce my time that it's taken to edit the videos, which is only allowing me more time to go out and find more treasure. I'm really behind in my videos. I've got like 6 terabytes of content that I need to get out there, just because I dig so much. I mean,
But
so
here,
I'm finally caught up to like June's videos from this year, because I had
Well,
so many videos from the school. I mean, the
you'll
treasure
have
out of the
winter
school.
time.
Yeah, I mean, I spent all winter in at the school, and so it just created content literally all the way up to May. And so all that time I was digging too, of course. So then now I'm just finally getting to that content. So I'm getting caught up. I should have awesome content, obviously, all winter long. Great stuff. You've seen the pictures that I mean, I post them every couple of weeks. I'll do a 2 week
Oh, yeah.
cleanup, and just I like those photos because it's just so much treasure sitting on the table. It blows a lot of people's minds, and that's really cool about it. Like,
Also, Chris Frankie, uh, BHiggles is tearing it up, all the target locations in my girl's hometown before I've had a chance to hit it with my Knox. But no hard feelings. A
yeah, no
slightly
hard feelings.
smiling face. Love his channel.
Hey, thank you so much. Anybody wants to dig with me, just holler at me, and I'm more than happy to take you to my hot spots. And if you've got hot spots too, let's go tear it up. I don't care who pulls it out of the ground, as long as that treasure comes out of the ground and gets in somebody's bag. I consider that a good day.
yep.
We've been having
Just being
some
out, like you
requests
said,
for treasure porn, though.
yeah,
Speaking of
like you
treasure.
said, just being outdoors and hanging out with friends and stuff is plenty of treasure. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's been really nice to
something you
find
put on
other
the ground is
people.
cool.
It's been really nice to find other people to hunt with, because for the first year I hunted alone, and I had literally nobody to share all this excitement with. uh, you know except virtually on my YouTube channel, which
Right.
everybody's been really supportive about. But you know, when you find something really, really cool, it'd be great to, you know, fist bump somebody and do you a gold dance or whatever. And so, you know, I've been having a lot of fun. That's for sure. Somebody said, let's see some treasure porn. I got treasure porn.
They've been yelling it the whole time.
Yeah,
Let's get
mostly
to the
our
porn.
friend GoPro Unlimited. See right there. Treasure porn next, please. Tag
So
flashing your pin.
1859 French Sin Times hold.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Very
Someone had
cool.
that sewn in a garment or around their neck.
Yeah, well, I learned that too. Somebody told me that. He said, you know why that's hold, don't you? I said, well, I figured it was important to them. They probably wore it around their neck. He said, actually, they sewed it inside their, you know, their jacket and stuff for that extra little spending money when they need it, and had it sewed in there. So I
Case of
learned that.
emergency.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
learned
putting that
that.
$100. It's like putting that $100 bill in your wallet in that secret
Yeah,
compartment.
in the secret pouch.
Same.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Here's my 1945 Walker,
Nice.
my first. And let's see what other kind of good treasure porn we got. Well, let's just show them a whole box. I mean, just for fun, why not to start out?
Hey,
So
it's your porn. Show
here's
it.
my box of silver in my
That's
first
all silver in
19.
there, huh?
Yes, sir. Well, there's a couple B nickels in there that somebody threw down on the ground at Flash Bash that I found.
I don't know who that would be.
Other than that, yeah, all that's silver. I mean, I've got Mercs and Rosies and Barber, and now the Seated and the Walker and the SLQ. Man, I found 3 SLQs in 90 days. That was pretty amazing. And 2 of them were back to back on back to back days in the same park.
You got the spot.
Yeah.
Show
that
Show
was
me
a-
treasure, says BHiggles.
there's
I
my
have a
SLQ.
1899 French 10 centimes
Yep.
found here in Southwest Missouri.
Awesome. Great find.
Cool.
That centimes, 10 times, whichever it is, that was one of my very first awesome coins out at the school. And that thing just blew my mind. 1859. I literally fainted. Let's see. Treasure porn. We got more. How about palladium? Anybody like palladium? Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you found that at Flash Bash, right?
I did find this at Flash Bash in the tot lot. Everybody kind of laughed at me for going to the tot lot
Nice.
and hitting the park, but I
The
love tot
tot
lots.
lot, is that
Most-
like the playground?
Yeah, that's the playground. Most of my gold and silver has come from tot lots. So
Huh.
that's why I
Yeah,
love tot
Deej
lots.
brought that up when I first saw her when you guys came back.
Yeah.
Like, he's killing it.
Here's some gold. Nice gold Mother Mary's pendant.
Nice.
That was found in the tot lot. I've got several
Wait,
golds.
wait.
We can look at the whole gold selection here. Here's my gold. It's not nearly as impressive as the silver, but
It will get
Let's
there.
go.
It's
Yeah.
building. It's
we
building.
got some gold in there. It's starting to build up, and I'm hopefully,
Yeah.
I'm certain that someday it'll look like my silver box, and I'll be super excited.
No doubt.
Just all kinds of rings, man. I got silver rings in here everywhere. This one's really cool. Found him out at the school. Silver with the green peridot stone.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really awesome.
Nice stone.
This was in the corner of the sidewalk at the church right next to the school. One of my very first finds at the school. So if you go to my website or my YouTube channel and you hit the 1925 playlist, I recommend that you start on day 1 because this is what comes out on day 1, and it only gets better from there. That's for sure. My little silver spoon.
Nice.
Seems like everybody seems to always find a little silver spoon. So I got me one. It was a pin. It's got the little back on it where it used to be pinned to somebody.
Huh.
That was really, really awesome. Got man, I got
Yeah,
all
that's a good idea, Jared. Quit using your metal detector as a coat rack. Use it as a metal detector?
Here's one of the rings I pulled from Drained Lake. Me and Shane, I've got camp
Okay,
at
wow.
Recording
Flashback. I was
stopped.
lucky enough to find this gold gilded flower button.
Hey,
mid-1800s.
Brian, we
I
lost.
was with Deej and Shane. We
Brian,
just went right
Brian.
across the street, and there was an old 1850s mill over there. And I dug about 15, 20 pieces of canned slaw and started to get a little frustrated, but then just kept with it. And then bam, we got this beautiful gold gilded button with a shank.
We lost total connection for a little bit.
Really excited about that.
We lost total connection for a little
Yes.
bit.
Am I
Yes.
back? I'm sorry.
You froze up, and I thought it was on your end and everything, but
Something popped up and said it was recording. So I figured
well, I shut
did you
that
see the
off.
Gold Guild 1800s button?
Yeah, we're back up now.
Okay. There's the Gold Guild 1800s button that I dug at Flash Bash with Deej and Shane and Doug and Don. We had a good time there. It's got a shank too. Nice one. Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just making sure I
Just my whole Zoom meeting vanished,
Wow.
and it popped back up.
Well, the show stopped too.
Yeah, everything
It
stopped.
froze.
My OBS signal went red and bad, and everything everywhere. But hey, we're back.
So we're good now, right, guys?
I believe so. We are back. Things.
Okay, good. Sure.
Yeah. And we didn't lose everybody, so that's good.
Well, I hope it wasn't something I did. Surely.
No,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Well,
it's
you might have been showing too much porn. for
Too
YouTube.
much porn. They
It's-
shut us down. I broke the internet. Okay.
it's a multiple of reasons, you know. It could have been my end because I had trouble with my OBS too. I don't know. I'm like, honey, what happened to the internet? But I looked and it said connected, but you know,
Did find me a great seal button.
technology.
So I've got me a great seal.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Brad Welch, it's flashingyourpan@gmail.com.
Another mid 1800s button. Was able to identify this one online via a picture and found the exact one. So that was cool to be able to get an exact ID on that one.
The button.
Yeah, it's a button. It doesn't have a shank, but it's like a flat button. I don't know all the terminology on this stuff either, but
So that must have been fun trying to figure out what that was, and then find
yeah,
it.
it's so much fun. You find something and I have zero idea what it is, I'm finding coins I've never even seen before. And
Right.
so yeah, to be able to get online and research that stuff, try to figure out what it is, where it came from, and how old it might be it's really exciting. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, Earth Radio wants to know what's your metal detector.
I use the Knox 800 is my main primary machine, and then I have a Deus 2 that I use for water digs, and then I'll be getting the Manicore when the Manicore comes out. That's going to be sponsored by a website that I build. That's dogtowntradingcompany.com. They've sponsored 2 machines now, the Deus, and then they're going to sponsor the Manicore as well in exchange for additional web work, marketing, etc. One of my greatest finds was the time capsule. I found this jar at the school. It's a mason jar, just a regular mason jar. It's got the ceramic insert. And when I dug down, I could see in the jar. And so, like any metal detectorist, I was super excited, thinking hopefully it was a jar full of silver coins.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't. But fortunately, in that jar was this letter. And this letter is the graduating class from 1950 from the school where I'm digging. It's got the
That was the year I was born.
It's got the principal's name, and it's got 10 names from the graduating students that year in 1950. And so when I found that, I about fell out because everybody was saying, you know, a time capsule is a very, very rare find. So I was
Ooh.
totally blown away by that. And then
Yeah.
me and the landowner, I called her and let her know what I found. So she got on the internet and we started working the names. And we found that 6 of the people on the list were deceased, 2 we couldn't find anything about, and 2 were living. And one of the living people, her name is Linda Yearby. And it turned out that she ends up being one of the first ever women's professional basketball players from
Nice.
here. So we tried to get a hold of her. We did get in contact with some of her family on Facebook, but we never actually got connected to Linda. I'd love to be able to get connected to Linda and share the story and how I found it and where I found it. And I'm sure she knows that because they put it there. But
I'm
I'd
sure
love
she'd
to
love to see it again.
I'd love to close that circle, you know, and just have that history just be, you know, renowned to her. But I intend to put it back at some point. I'm gonna vacuum seal the letter, and then I'm going to create a copy of the letter because it's very illegible. You can hardly read it. I had to do a lot of work to get the names off of it. And then I found a 1950 Rosie and a 1950 Wheat Penny and some other cool things. And at some point, when I get done out there, I'm going to put all that stuff back in this mason jar and bury that thing right back down in the ground for the next adventure to find.
Cool. Hey, welcome, Troy.
Good
Finally
to see
made it.
you, Troy.
Yeah, that was the year I was born.
Awesome.
So that's 72 years old.
Wow.
You know, you found it this year?
Yeah.
That's
January,
that's
January
awesome.
9th.
That's awesome.
January 9th. Cold day. It was whipping windy. It was crazy. And I was like, man, I got to get out there and dig some more holes. and did and found that thing. There's a great video. If you want to hear more about the story of the time capsule, if you go to my website, BHiggles.com, I've written a blog about that adventure. I've got the whole day lined out. The video's there so you can see the video too. So it's a really great blog. I didn't figure anybody read blogs anymore, but the day that I released that and kind of promoted it on social media, that blog got 1,500 views in 24 hours. So
Right.
Well, you
I
know,
was
people.
amazed that people still read and
Well,
like to, you know, get that deep into a story, but apparently they do. So it
sure.
was
I mean, just because newspapers and books themselves aren't being read as much, people still read stuff online all the time. I
yeah,
mean, we get I consume most of my news online, you know,
Right.
and it
right.
entails reading. You can read a lot of stuff. We haven't gotten away from reading. We've just gotten away from reading books and papers and magazines as much. You
So
know,
here's a good story about this ring. This is marked with a maker's mark. Trading Post is the name of the company that built this ring. But this is a great story. When I was swinging my coil over this thing, this was a really, really ugly, scratchy 3940 on the nocks. And I assume that's because all the little reflection points that are all over this thing. I mean, it's just crazy. But it had jade stones inside every one of these little capsules. It had some jade stones in there. And when I got home, I made my very first mistake with old jewelry. I tumbled it because
yeah,
I wanted it to be all nice and shiny.
yeah.
And when I tumbled it, every one of those stones broke up and just basically disintegrated.
Oh,
So
Oh.
that
man.
was my very first faux pas. Don't ever tumble your old
Oh.
jewelry. Maybe use hydrosonic or something like that.
Or just hand
Tumbler is
polish it.
You
You know,
learned a lesson. You learned
Yep,
a
I
yeah.
learned
lesson.
a very
Ah,
valuable lesson.
I noticed that about your coins too. You don't seem to be cleaning any of
No, I'm not cleaning my coins anymore. And in fact, I've trying to stop rubbing my coins, period, because everybody keeps saying, don't rub that coin. So I've been trying to at least not rub the ones that I figure are rare. I figure I'm just digging up clad, especially when it's really shallow. If I'm
Right.
on 12 sensitivity and I'm only digging an inch deep and I pull out a penny, I'm just going to assume that thing's a zinker and take one
Right.
peek at it, rub it, see if the memorial's on there, and head on. And little did I know that there are shallow IHPs and other great coins. So I'm trying to stop rubbing the coins, but it's tough, man. We're out there
Yeah,
in the
our
fields
friend
and
Troy Johnson, he's from Ohio also, smoked my first large cent trying to clean it. And I've heard sometimes they'll flake and stuff, and um, yeah, it's never good. You can lose the value of a coin by cleaning it
yeah.
drastically.
I'm learning that the hard way, of course, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean,
Learning.
we all like to learn the hard way.
Some
Right?
people have to learn the hard way. Some people can learn.
Here's a really cool find. This is just a little ring, but it's a 1 shilling coin
Oh,
Huh.
cool.
that was made into a ring. You
Right.
probably can't see, but inside it says 1 shilling in there.
Nice.
So somebody had handmade this from a coin into a ring. I think that is
Yeah.
really, really awesome. We
Don't
figured
Coin
it was
rings
coins
are
melt
pretty
'em.
cool.
we tried to dial it in. We figured it was from the 20s, 20 shilling.
I have
Jerry
a
always got to be the procrastinator.
I have a
Oh,
German mark, 5 mark piece that was made for me from a guy, the man with the hat made it for me.
Cool.
There's a guy here in Delphus, Justin Soley. He was on our show a few months ago. He does coin jewelry and stuff too.
And then I've got some of these old, these
Oh, yeah.
little tokens.
Collect tokens and
Yeah,
stuff. A
those go
lot of
collect
them are
tokens.
stamped. You could
They
stamp what you want along the edges.
It's got, it's always funny verbiage in there, but I guess that's part of the stamping. They just make it like a little saying or something. I did clean one of them up. I electrolysed this one, and so it turned out to be quite nice after I got done. I used the ugly box on it. I like the little ugly box for electrolysis because you can control the amount of current going to the item.
Right.
I
right.
found that very valuable. They say the silver is really a great metal to electrolysis, so I did VR locked of it.
Lost connection with YouTube.
Buffering.
But I believe they can still hear us.
We're
So,
back.
All right, we're back.
oh, Stevie, back to live. There we go.
Back.
Yeah, YouTube.
Back.
All right. Let's see. Do you guys want to see that moto meter? I'll show you that. Hold on.
Yeah. Whatever you got. Whatever you got.
This thing is really, really awesome. It's about a foot long. You can see it's winged. And I guess it's made of copper, maybe brass. I'm not really 100% sure on that.
Probably brass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I looked it up.
unfortunately, you don't want to scratch it to find out.
Right.
Right.
I
And
would guess brass, probably a yellow brass.
I haven't done anything with it. I haven't cleaned it or anything. I was like, nope, I'm just going to let this be till I get a little bit more experienced and figure out what, if anything I should do to it.
And what'd you say that was?
Yeah, a motometer radiator cap. It's from a 1920 Sterling automobile. And so you had the big, dial at the top. And this was an aftermarket add-on, apparently.
Right, because they didn't have any of that stuff on your basic cars.
Right. It was an aftermarket add-on, apparently for the wealthy, the super wealthy. So a really, really cool item. And what's fun about that item is I found that the same day that the old shoe guy showed me the map where the festival was and the horse track at the school where I'm digging. So
Oh,
that was really cool because up in the front yard of that picture, you can see they had all kinds of tents and a bunch of automobiles up there. So I was like, well, I'm going to hit the front yard, see if I can find anything. And there that thing popped out. Then I went and uh, in my local town, I was seeing everybody was posting a bunch of Boy Scout memorabilia, the slides and the
right.
woggles and so I thought, well, shoot, I've got a Boy Scout lodge. My childhood Boy Scout lodge is still there. So I ran down there and went to that, and here I'll just pull you all over here for this one, and then bam, I found all those.
Oh man.
I found a patch and like 30 of those woggles and a couple of pendants and buttons
Yeah.
and just
How many did you lose when you were in the scouts?
I don't yeah, and probably several. And one of those could be mine. But
You
everybody
know?
was still just like, man, that's crazy. How can you go out there and find so much? And I just went out there and it kept beeping. So I kept digging and they just kept coming out of the ground left and right. If you need to
Those
know
things,
what those ring up on an Equinox 800, it's a 22. So everybody knows that 22 is pretty much a bottle cap and probably would not normally even dig that. But if you're in a Boy Scout area and you get a 22, 24 bottle cap signal, dig it because it's a woggle.
Are you a dig everything type guy?
I am a dig it all type guy. I often have very weird ways of doing.
And it's still circling. We lost everybody but
They don't call it the
5.
Equinox for nothing.
well,
Are we
Jared
back?
says,
Well, shit. That's
Yeah,
Jared
Jaron
says
says
he's got,
ooh.
two other streams are doing it. Jaron says in the chat, Ed.
Huh?
He says that there's two other streams he's watching that are doing the same thing, buffering and going nuts.
Okay,
Oh wow.
but I lost everything. My Zoom, my OBS, my YouTube, everything. And the 5 of you that stuck around and hung it out. Thank you all very much. I greatly appreciate it. Oh man. Okay, 4, 1 left. I see how you
Hey, now I'm getting a spinning wheel of death. It's trying to start again.
yeah, same here.
I'm
Oh,
gone, David Villa says. But
are we back?
I think
I'm still
so.
spinning.
I'm refreshed.
There we go. I got it back now.
But geez, I remember the old days on my laptop, Mr. Lodek. I was having that kind of stress level. I'm saying in a well, kind of loud, but not too loud. I'm like, what happened to the internet, Judy? You didn't turn it off, did you? What the heck? Yeah, Terry, we're back. I'm not back, David says. Oh man, everybody, sorry. Technical issues. Damn flippin' Murphy hasn't had to show his face. Oh man.
Yes, refresh everybody if you're.
Yep, refresh.
Well, that's pretty cool. We lost just about everybody. Now they're all.
They're
louder back.
dwindling back in. They're dwindling back in. Spread your
Flash Union
feelers
Painter
out. Tell
2.0.
them we're back. We're on till 10 o'clock.
Whether we're on or not.
If we're on or not, we're on.
Yeah,
Almost reminds me of that time we had, the Backyard Boys or something from PA on, when we lost power during pre-show, and I'm
Oh,
walking
yeah.
around the back with my phone, and I ended up grabbing power from my neighbor who has a generator, Brian,
Wow.
I ran 2 extension cords to the house, one upstairs to the router, one to my computer. We were late, but we still aired.
Heck yeah. Persevere.
Full of gold, how you doing?
Oh.
James is here too. Thanks, brother. We're back on my end. Excellent, JP.
All right.
And Radio laughs out
So if
loud.
you guys missed a great show while we were gone. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I can
fine.
answer that, but I'll ask him for you, Ert. BH,
Remember
what
reading
is?
for coins on the Knox.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nickels are 12 to 14. Pennies are anywhere from 17 to 22 to 25. So the 17 to 19s are the zincers, and the 22 to 25s are the coppers. A dime generally comes in at 24 to 26. A quarter comes in at 29 to 30. And a $50 and silver usually makes it go crazy, 35 and better.
Okay, now forgive me, Brian. I haven't looked at your channel to see about this question I am gonna ask, but
Okay.
do